Our adventure began at 1 p.m. Tuesday afternoon. Myself, my dad Chuck, his friend Clint, and my best friend Jeffrey were crossing into Mexico. We were there to take on the Score Baja 1000, a 1,000-mile desert race that takes place on the Baja Peninsula of Mexico once a year. My dad and Clint were racing on a quad team this year, and each of them were assigned a 200-mile-long section of this epic relay race. The moment you cross the border, the fun begins. Hardly anyone speaks English.
Okay. Oh, okay. Right there.
Miles of highways were just dirt roads. And military checkpoints every 50 miles made the trip to where we were staying in San Felipe exciting and different, to say the least. Late that afternoon, we had arrived in San Felipe. What is a pre-run? Well, the pre-run is exactly what it sounds like. You go around the race course days prior to the race to familiarize yourself with the area. It's used to scout out dangers, obstacles, and faster lines through the race course. Today, we were going to pre-run my dad's section. This required us to ride 70 miles on the highway to get to where my dad's section started. Once we hit dirt, the pre-run was on. It wouldn't have been an adventure if we didn't have problems, and Jeffrey's bike was the first machine to be claimed by Baja, ending our pre-run a little early that day. One of my favorite parts of Mexico is the food, which consists mostly of tacos, lots and lots of tacos. And the people cooking for us couldn't have been happier to see us either, for almost everyone in Mexico is a fan of off-road racing. It was time to clean up and get some rest, and get the bikes ready for tomorrow. Day 2 of pre-running was dedicated to Clint's section, and man was it rough. We even had some company on the trails today. Fellow racers out in their buggies, scouting out the course. Finally, after miles and miles of whoops, our day was done. It was time to prepare for the race. The race had started at 11 p.m. that night. With temperatures in the lower 40s, it was a long, cold wait, waiting for our first rider, Marco, to make it to our pit. After what felt like an eternity, Marco had made it to our pit. It was time for my dad to get on the quad and start his race. We fueled the quad and gave it a once-over, making sure there was no damage or broken parts. A quick pat on the back from me, and a few adjustments to the controls, and my dad was off into the Baja. Sunrise the next morning, and the race was in full swing. Pit crews and spectators lined the race course, everyone trying to catch a glimpse of the action. We were now set up in San Felipe, waiting for my dad to bring the quad to Clint. And that's exactly what he did.
Oh yeah, you're doing great. How close is the next quad?
Right
None
there.
have come by.
Clint got on and made it roughly 150 miles into his section before, unfortunately, the quad's electrical system failed, and our race was over.